Hey y'all, so Adam has showed up from Elite Ag. He has brought us something to try out today. This is a unique piece of equipment, something that maybe y'all hadn't seen before. They specialize in bringing unique and a pretty wide array of versatile equipment to the market that farmers, particularly in the Southeast, have not seen before. So tell us what we got here.
Patrick, today we've got a Lemken Kompactor. So this is a 6-meter version. So for us down here, it's going to be a 6-row. Basically a 20, just shy of 20 foot. It's more like a field cultivator on steroids for us. And
I like that, field cultivator on steroids. That sounds so
and a clod buster extraordinaire with the setup of baskets and arrangements for it. So we'll be able to really size our clods that we have in the red dirt issue down here in the south.
Well, we got that. Let's get it unloaded and see what it does.
Copy that.
We've got the Lemken Kompactor out in the field now. I'm going to show you a little bit about what it's doing and how to set it up. It does have a pair of sweeps right where the duals run, right where the tires run on the tractor. And so you can set the depth of these where they are just breaking up, where your tractor is sinking in the ground a little bit so you don't have ruts where the tractor was running. Once you get past those sweeps, you got a long basket here. The baskets are independently mounted from each other, so it's not rigid. There's 4 different baskets that are independently mounted. You have a board behind them here. A board's a loose term, it's made of metal, it's not wood, but this board is set with a screw right here, and you can set those boards per basket. Each one is set differently, and it determines how much dirt stays in the basket. So if clods are getting past the basket, we will set that board in more tighter, a little bit more aggressive, and it'll make the clods stay in the basket longer until they break up. Then they pass over the top of the board. They go through 2 rows of wide sweeps where they pass through another basket that has another retention board that can again be set to keep the clods in the basket longer or let them come out quicker. And then we have some cultipacker wheels or clod busters or whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure what Lemken calls them, but down here in South we call them cultipacker wheels. So we have them on the back end, and what you wind up with is a nice firm level seed bed ready for planting. Now I am going to have to set those sweeps a little bit deeper. You can kind of see my tire track there, and you saw the sweeps wasn't running quite, they weren't quite touching the ground behind my tire, so I'll adjust that setting. And you'll see what I'm trying to do out here is this is land that has been plowed with a moldboard plow or a bottom plow, and I've let it rain on it, and now it is settled and it's a little bit wavy. We have a little bit of a dip right here, a little bit of a crest, and a little bit of a dip right there, and so it's rough out here. It's not smooth. You couldn't run a planter over this because you wouldn't have uniform seed depth. You want to get rid of all these non-conformities out here. Here's a little bit of a trench from maybe the plow. The tractor may have torqued a little bit, so you got a little bit of a trench. So we're going to get all this super duper even, flat and smooth, and that is the purpose of this machine. My dad ran this machine on the subsoiled ground ahead of my corn planting. Some of you commented on the corn planting videos how well the ground looked prepared ahead of me planting. It's because this machine was run on it. It was pulled with a 4960 across that subsoiled ground, and it is hard to imagine something doing a better job than what it did. It prepared that subsoiled ground absolutely perfect. We had some red clay in that field, and we have an area that's a little bit sandier. It did a very uniform job across the whole field, and it looked like a putting green. I mean, it was flat, it was level, it was perfect. It worked out great with planting. But now I got it in a challenging scenario. I'm out here on bottom plowed ground, or what some of y'all may call moldboard plowed. This ground has been plowed very deeply, and so it is soft down to about 1 foot deep. And we got it's rained after I plow, so we got a crust over the top, and then we got a large soft pillow up under. So this is a challenging scenario, and the ground's a little bit uneven because it was plowed. The subsoiling ground is usually relatively flat or flatter, more evener than plowed ground. So what we're doing today is really challenging this machine and seeing what it is capable of doing. Some of you may notice I've taken the wheel weights off the tractor. That's 720 pounds on either side. And I also removed all the plate racks from the front. That was 2,200 pounds of plates on the front that I took off. And did that so that we could lighten the tractor up. This field's been plowed. If I come out here with all that weight on the tractor, it'll sink in and leave ruts. And so I removed as much weight as possible to get the tractor lighter so we can ride on top. And you see, I'm not sinking in very deep. If I come out here with all those weights, man, this thing be sinking in 10 or 12 inches, leaving deep ruts. So we lightened the tractor up, and now we're smoothing the field up. For those of y'all unfamiliar with the Lemken brand is actually very popular over in Europe, but in the States, it's not as well known over here. If you've been around this channel long, you've seen me run a Lemken Reuben. My brother-in-law has a Reuben that I've made some videos with, and this is what they call their compactor. This machine and the Reuben that we've run are made extremely heavy duty. So in the States, we're used to equipment being made super wide, but light duty. So you carry a big swath at a time, but you wear the parts out pretty easily. And so you run the machine, whether it be a field cultivator or whatever, you run it 10 years, it's wore slam out, you've already patch wheeled on it. Perhaps you've seen my YouTube short where the Umfer Perfector 2 is in need of some weld repairs. And you know, these field cultivators are often replacing baskets and bearings in baskets, and you're always replacing parts and patching on field cultivators. This particular machine takes the place of a field cultivator, and the Reuben also is similar to a field cultivator or gets similar results to a field cultivator. But the main difference is with a Reuben or with a compactor here, when you buy it, you're not wearing it out. You can't wear this machine out. It is built to extreme toughness, extreme heavy duty, and so when you buy this machine, you're buying it for life. You're not going to be out here replacing baskets after you run over 2,000 acres or replacing bearings. You're not going to be looking at the hitch, the 3-point hitch point, saying, hey, do we need to put a gusset in here? Do we need to weld on this? This stuff is made to extreme duty standards. The other thing about these Lemken implements is they have a lot of fine-tuned settings, and so you don't necessarily just put any tractor driver hooked to a Lemken and turn them loose. You really want to have an operator hooked to it, because there are numerous settings that you have to maybe look at and adjust per your field conditions. And you can, if you're not getting the exact results you want, you can go fine-tune this and fine-tune that, and you can get it to do what you need it to do. But if you just put any old tractor driver on here that just drops it down, looks forward, never looks back, you may not get the results you need. But if you have an operator, somebody that's going to sit in the seat and pay attention to what's going on, then with a lot of this Lemken stuff, you can go back there and make adjustment here or there, and you can get it to do exactly what you're wanting it to do and get really nice results in one pass. But you got to be an operator. You got to pay attention. The adjustments you need are in these machines. But with some of the other machines here in the States, there's not always any adjustments you can make per se. Sometimes there'll be a few adjustments, but these things just have, it may even be Achilles heel. They have so much adjustment that you may can get a little lost in it if you hadn't run it a lot. But you can adjust these things so many ways, it is ridiculous. This is a great example of what the machine's doing. You see here on the edges where I've started plowing, each time I have a little bit of a furrow where I maybe wasn't perfectly straight at the beginning of the road, and you see those furrows repeating over and over as I go down the edge of the field. And then you see where I run here, it has leveled that out and got us a nice smooth field ready for seeding. And you see a lot of shields or larger clods over here where I hadn't run at yet. So we got these stuff like this right here. And then where I run, we've eliminated that.